Hello there, my name is Kevin, and in this video I want to demonstrate some gameplay for Abound to All Trades, my Capstone project. So, first things first, this is kind of the main menu here. It works with mouse. It also works with arrow keys. And by extension, it also works with gamepad as well. There are quite a few options here, but I'm just going to go ahead and dive straight into the level archives. And so the level archives contain the first two levels that I created. One for the prototype version of the game that was at the very beginning of the semester, and the vertical slice level, which was for, naturally, the vertical slice portion of the project. If you're playing the game for yourself, I would advise going to the vertical slice level because it's got more content in it and more to show off. So I'm going to dive straight into the vertical slice level and show off what that level looks like. Okay, so if you guys saw my intro video, my project overview, you might recognize this level as the one that was shown in the editor. This right here is the vertical slice level. The vertical slice portion of the capstone was basically just a single level that represents final quality as far as like sound, art, all that stuff for the final version of the game. So the track that you're hearing here in the background that kind of gives that eerie dungeon-esque atmosphere is a very simple MIDI track that I created. Definitely one thing I will say is that the audio definitely needs some work, but for a start it was pretty good. So right now you're just starting out, you're unbound, you don't have a class selected, so if you hold down the C key or the right on the D-pad on gamepad, then you can open up your class wheel here, and this is how you select your class. Again, this works with mouse and keyboard, and it also works with gamepad. So I'm going to go ahead and show off the warrior here. We actually do need the warrior because of these push blocks here. Only the warrior is strong enough to move them. So before we continue, I'm just going to quickly show off the warrior here. He's got armor on, he's got a sword and shield, and so if you click the left mouse button, he'll do some attacks, draw his weapon, all that good stuff. You can jump, and if you hold down shift, that's the sprint key, but that also sheathes your weapon, and you can kind of sprint around that way. The warrior also is able to block, so if you hold down the right mouse button, that's how that works. And then I'll also show off combat here in just a second. So in order to access those slime enemies over there and take them out, we need to go ahead and grab this block here, and I do that by holding down the E key. And as the warrior, I'm strong enough, I can push it or I can pull it. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull the block back over here into the side a little bit, and that opens up a path. And now we can rush in and start fighting these things. So you can see that when we hit the slimes, they kind of spew out these chunks, and then when they die, they turn slightly transparent, slightly more transparent, and they also can have a neat little dissolve effect. Let me also go ahead and demonstrate blocking really quick. So if you block as the warrior, you take a little bit less damage, which is really nice. You gotta keep an eye on your health and your stamina as well, because attacking uses stamina, and so does blocking. But your stamina does constantly regenerate. Okay. Another feature that I need to go over is you can actually lock on to enemies by holding down the control key. You can see the one over there in the distance, he's got a little circle around him there that's indicating that I'm targeting him, and I can kind of strafe around him. It just makes it a little bit easier to hit enemies. I need to actually implement it to where you can actually choose whether you want to hold it or have it be a toggle. So that's one of the big items that I'm doing for the next iteration. And let me also really quick show off the mage class. So the mage class I think is pretty neat. I like the cloth physics that I put on him. Maybe they're a little weird, maybe they need some work, but for the most part I'm pretty happy with it. And the mage is more of a ranged kind of crowd control style fighter. So with the staff, It's a magic missile attack. It homes in on enemies. So when you swing it, it just shoots, and it kind of swerves towards enemies, does some damage. And you also have the first spell that I've implemented, and I plan to implement more in the next iteration, is a lightning spell. So you can get up close to him and then just hold down the F key, and there you go, it's a lightning spell. And again, the same targeting features work with the mage as well. Same with the lightning, and then targeting also works really well for the magic missile attack. So, all of the controls and instructions are listed in the menu, the main menu, and hopefully I will be able to record some more gameplay for you soon. This is the pause menu. I'm going to go ahead and head back to the main menu. So the version that you guys just saw is actually a little bit more developed than the version that is currently built on my itch.io page, which I'll link in the description. That version I built on Tuesday, and it was to turn in for the class. So there were a couple of bugs that I had known about, such as the push block physics were a little bit buggy. So that version is a little bit buggy, just a heads up if you play it. But this version, I've already gone and fixed some of those bugs. So by the time the next iteration comes out, those bugs should all be fixed. And then again, I'm just going to hop over to instructions really quick, show those off. I need to clean this up a little bit as well. That's on my to-do list, is to separate these out, because it shows keyboard and mouse, and it also shows gamepad controls as well. And the gamepad controls are assuming Xbox 360 style controls. So yeah, that is pretty much it for now, and I look forward to showing more off a little bit later. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.